following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What is up, everybody, and welcome in to another episode of the Up-Tempo Podcast. I'm your host, Blake Lane, and tonight here with my co-host, Dustin Smith. Dustin, man, what a weekend of baseball for the Auburn Tigers. Didn't lose a baseball game this weekend, but take 2 out of 3 from the USC Trojans. Unfortunately, Game 3 had to end in a tie today. It sucks, but USC and the Pac-12 got to fly back home to be with mama. Johnny's got to be with mama at a certain time. You got a curfew. So, they had to catch a flight and get back home, so they could not play an inning after 3:30 Central Standard Time. So the game ended in a tie in the bottom of the 9th. Auburn had the bases loaded, had an opportunity to win it, couldn't come through, bases loaded, 1 out, and couldn't get it done in the end. So a lot to talk about tonight, Dustin. Just watching these 3 games take place this weekend, man, how are you feeling about this Auburn baseball team?
Well, it's funny, first off, to think about the situation that USC was in today, because what are they going to do in a couple of years when they're playing in New Jersey on Sundays and they're playing in Pennsylvania on Sundays? You got to travel all the way back across the country. Y'all going to have a couple of these situations pop up if you got to leave by 3:30. Pretty goofy situation, honestly. It's really goofy to play 9 innings of baseball and then just say it's a tie. But overall, man, I'm just happy about where we're going. I mean, we said before the series we wanted to take 2 out of 3. What do you consider it? 2.5, I guess.
We didn't lose. I'll take it.
You didn't record a loss, and you see some things that at this point are becoming trends. Like, it's obvious what Ike Irish is. It's obvious what Bryson Ware is.
Man.
If Kirby's going to get a hit, it's going over the fence. So roles are starting to kind of, show. Now we've got to figure out this pitching staff. We've got to figure out there's got to be a little bit more guys in the bullpen step up. There's definitely got to be some starters step up.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, though, I would say, hey, you won 2.5 games and you didn't use your best pitcher. So Gonzo dealing with that shoulder soreness. So overall, man, I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I'm not mad about the tie, honestly, man. It is what it is, and shout out to Lindsey Crosby, man. Auburn baseball won 2.5 games, just joking around, and he said, "Hey, we didn't lose." All right, so shout out to Lindsey, man, and we'll take it. Another series at home, and we come out of there with a series win. A bunch of guys do need to step up. But one thing I want to talk about before we start breaking these games down, Dustin, is 2 of these games were only on the radio, man. All right. One of them was televised on a Saturday. Look, college baseball is a growing sport. It's a growing brand, not just in the Southeastern Conference. It's big in the Big 12. It's big in the Pac-12. I mean, it is becoming really big in the Big 10. We just saw Michigan in the National Championship Series just a short time ago. So we know what the ACC is. That's in a historical conference. Miami, Florida State, North Carolina, could go on, and Virginia could go on and on with that conference. So it's becoming a big thing nationally, Dustin. And I feel like Auburn has to do better to get these 2 games televised, man. Look, I know there was other sporting events that kind of interrupted things with the baseball being moved from LA to Auburn, but we got to be better, man, to have more things televised than just one event on campus. I think that really hurts the showing that Auburn put on this weekend, that it was just on the radio. This offense, especially in Game 2, man, putting up 12 runs offensively. But you missed the likings of a Bryson Ware bomb, a Justin Kirby, just absolute showcase of power from the right side, the grad transfer from Kent State, and obviously the Ike Irish performances that he has continuously just put on and put on. We missed all of that, man. We missed it. We missed the great showing from the bullpen in game 1. Game 2 as well. Game 2, we missed a performance where the Tigers get down 3-0 early and they battle back. In the middle of that game, the bats come alive. We missed all that, well, in game 2 we didn't, but in game 3 today, we missed. We blew 2 4-run leads and everything. It was just aggravating, man, that this team has been to the College World Series the past couple years, and you get ready for a big time matchup against a historical program, and you got to listen to 2 out of the 3 games on the damn radio, man.
It's frustrating, and actually, you had when you tweeted about this, people started commenting and saying it's an issue with War Eagle Productions. They don't have the infrastructure or whatever. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but didn't somebody from War Eagle Productions respond to the tweet and say that they are working on getting the infrastructure to get this done in the summer or whatever? He said coming soon, basically to have it for the next round of sports next year. I would just, I guess it's just a whole lot of projects that got to go on at Auburn, because you've got renovations to Plainsman, you've got Bruce's basketball facility. We could go on and on and on. And now, come to find out, we need to upgrade our broadcasting stuff too, because we can't do more than one game at one time. Other than we can do the different separate radios, but we can only broadcast television wise one game at one time. Yeah, Auburn's a big enough school, a big enough brand that you can't have that. And when you're showcasing, we had 5,000 people there today. When you consider everybody out behind the outfield and everybody up in the parking deck and all that, you got to showcase this team. You got to showcase this program, like you said, that went to Omaha, that's got these stars like Bryson Ware, that's got this freshman phenom in Ike Irish. And so this weekend was an Auburn-specific problem. But overall, for college baseball, it has to be better. It has to be more exposure. It's hard to find these games. You have to really, it's not easy to access the stats. It's definitely not easy to access historical stats. What is Auburn's record versus Alabama all time in baseball? That kind of stuff is really hard to find in baseball. There's a lot of things that need to be upgraded. And yeah, dude, you're going on the ESPN app. Okay, is this game on ESPN Plus, or is this one on ESPN3, or is this one on SEC Network Plus? And it's hard enough for me to figure it out. And I grew up in the computer age. My dad wants to watch this stuff too. But you've got all this. He's older, man. He's in his 60s. He doesn't want to have 15 different username and passwords to watch Auburn baseball. He just wants to turn the TV on and watch it. So they need to get better overall, because I've tried to watch LSU a couple times this year, and it's really hard. And I'm trying to watch this team to get a look at the number 1 team in the country, and they're never on.
Yep.
So it's just like you said, the game is growing, and if you want it to grow, if you want it to have exposure, you got to have it on TV. And there needs to be more of a centralized, app, or somebody needs to come in with a nice TV deal to where it's on more of these channels. Blake, I look down our schedule, bro. For example, the Alabama series, Friday and Saturday is SEC Network Plus, Sunday, not on TV. Of our last 4 or 5 games, we played Missouri, I believe, at the end of the season. I might be wrong on this, and I think only one of those games is on TV. And it's just, college baseball's got to be better, and they got to get better marketing. The SEC's got to be better, because we're supposed to be top notch. We're supposed to be the standard for baseball around the country. Well, let's put it on TV, and let's make it easier for people to get access to this, because SEC Network is not SEC Network Plus is not the easiest thing to find out how to register for, blah, 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 blah. You got to call your cable provider. You got to make this stuff easier, man. We're just trying to watch our teams.
Yeah, man. And look, I'm so tired of subscriptions and everything like that, man. Look, I have ESPN Plus. All right. I'm subscribed to Peacock TV, because I am a soccer fan with the
Right,
English
right.
Premier
Yeah.
League. All
Thank
right.
you. I am too now.
um, and so during the middle of the week and everything, the Premier League plays their games on Peacock. All right. So they also just did a move with Paramount where they play a certain number of games in the middle of the week on Paramount. So
Yeah.
now I had to go get a $4.99 subscription to Paramount. All right. So on the weekends they play on USA. All right.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, man, I didn't even know USA was still a network. Honestly, like what is on TV on USA Network during the middle of the week at 1:00 for you to not to not be on the USA Network? Like the Premier League is on Peacock and Paramount because you want me to pay more money. All right.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to, is when you could easily just throw it on USA and let me watch it like that. But instead, you want me to do exactly what I'm doing right now, keep filling out subscriptions and paying $4.99, $6.99, $9.99, like ESPN Plus has moved up to. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So I'm constantly having to subscribe to all of these channels and everything, and just look, bro, it adds up at the end of the day. You're paying $5 here, $10 here, $5 here, $7 here a month. It continuously adds up. And I just think it's ridiculous. It's kind of aggravating that we missed some really bright spots in the series, and we had to listen to it all on the radio. And if you are listening to this podcast, please forgive us if we do mess up here and there, because look, we had to sit down on our phones. We had to sit down on our phones this weekend.
Notes.
Yeah, took notes, man. Like, do you know how hard? It's like, look, man, I've got a wife and everything. When she comes through the door, she's like, "Hey, honey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm sitting here on my iPhone listening to Auburn baseball." All right, and she's like, "Okay, well, do you want to go to dinner?" And I'm like, not tonight, you know. And she's like, "Why not?" And I'm like, "Because I'm sitting here on my iPhone listening to Auburn baseball, you know." Now, if they were on TV, Dustin, I could actually put it on my phone and watch it while I was at the restaurant. Okay. But instead, it's 2023 and we're still doing things over the radio. Be better, NCAA, be better, Auburn, be better, everybody. Nationally, let's be better. So, that is my thing with that. Let's get into game one, Dustin. Auburn baseball wins game one, 5-3. Started out losing 1-0. Chase Alsop gets the start. Looked better this go around. Still not what we wanted to see, but showed improvements. He went 3 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. That run was earned. 2 walks and 2 Ks. He ran into some trouble in the third, Dustin. This was really impressive for me and Chase's growth as a Friday night starter. He ran into some trouble in the third inning. Got bases loaded jam. I think he walked a guy, hit a guy. Guy got a base hit, and he gets out of it. All right. Huge, man. Huge stuff. Huge growth and a step forward for Chase also. I was really impressed with that. He comes back out for the fourth and runs into a little trouble, gives up a run. They bring, what was it? They brought John Armstrong in. Yeah. They bring John Armstrong.
2 pitches, yeah.
Yeah, he threw 2 pitches, got the out, got out of it.
Win.
Yeah, and Auburn is down 1-0 going in to the bottom of the fourth, and that is when Cole Foster explodes, man. But before we get to that, just talk a little bit about Chase Alsop and John Armstrong, man. Let's just start there with this pitching staff.
Well, that's an easy way to get a win for Armstrong, 2-pitch win. And baseball is unique in the fact that you can have clutch moments early in the game, you know?
Yeah.
Like you can be 5 minutes into a basketball game. It's not a clutch moment, but, you know, third inning, bases loaded. Chase had to buckle down there, 1 hit, and this thing can get out of hand type deal. So that part of it is impressive, but still, at the end of the day, we got to have somebody step up. Look, Gonzo's battling that shoulder. Everyone says he's okay. So I hope he's okay, but let's say he's not, then what?
Mhm.
I mean, we got to have some guys that we can depend on. And 72 pitches and 3.2 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks to 2 strikeouts. He's just we got to get deeper. And Butch
Yep.
said as much out of the game. We got to get deeper. We know he's got it in him. But he's going to get to start again this Friday versus Lipscomb, and we need to see him go 5-6 innings. But good on Armstrong for coming right in there and putting the fire out, keeping us in the game, and we know that we can depend on him. And then Tanner Ballmer comes in and he gives you 3.2, only gives up 1 hit, 3 strikes out 3, walks 3. He really kind of
Mhm.
anchored it down. And the thing is I really think with this so far anyway, from what we've seen from this team, I think our lineup is so deep that I don't think we have to have stellar pitching. I think we
Yeah.
have to have performances out the bullpen like what Tanner did. I think those kind of solid performances, nothing crazy, nothing, out of this world, but just solid and steady, and then give our bats time, and eventually somebody in our lineup's going to crack. Somebody's going to break.
Mhm.
The
Yeah, I
pitchers
agree,
just got to
man.
keep us
And
in the game.
yeah, and Will Cannon coming in and with the inning and 1/3 right there to close things out Friday night. Gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. That was really big. The bullpen in that game played a really big role to get that opening dub in the series, man. But let's talk about this offense in game 1. Like I mentioned earlier, Cole Foster breaks out in the 4th inning, had a big double to take the lead. And they end up scoring 4 runs in that 4th inning, Dustin. And then Justin Kirby comes up and hits an absolute bomb to get Auburn's 5th run right there. And man, this Justin Kirby kid, all right, we know what kind of weekend Cole Foster had. I said on Twitter, I said, look, there's a really big AB from Cole Foster this weekend. He got down 0-2. All right. He battled back to a 2-2 count, fouled a pitch off, I believe. And then he sat on an off speed and drove it the other way out to left field, man. Drove it the other way, drove in some runs. Kudos to Cole Foster for a great weekend at the plate, man. A veteran guy, a guy that is going to be a leader for this ball club. And big shout out to him and Justin Kirby, man. Keep hitting them to the freaking moon, Cuzzo, because
Yeah.
this guy's a monster, Dustin.
Yeah, it's fun. We kind of like
Yeah.
without Sonny, it's like, okay, like we talked about before, we'll make it up in the aggregate, but he's got 5 already. Or is he going for Sonny numbers? Is he trying to have a Sonny type season?
He only has 5 hits, right? And they're all 5 bombs. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane, man. So yeah, I was really impressed, even though it was a 5-3 win. I was really impressed with Auburn Friday night. That was a gritty win, man, to fall down early 1-0 at home on a Friday night and to really bounce back. And then Saturday, you come in there and you just absolutely explode offensively, right? And this is another gritty performance from Auburn. You start down 3-0 and you eventually wake up offensively, and you had 3 big innings in this game, Dustin, where you just absolutely strike and put runs up on the board, man. And like you said in our preview to this series, I asked you, I said, who needs to step up in this weekend series to really push Auburn over the top? And your answer was Cooper McMurray, and boy, did he put on a show Saturday for the Auburn Tigers. So he was a bright spot in this game. But Herbert Holtz gets the start. Like you said, Gonzo has to sit with the shoulder soreness. He goes 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk on 4 Ks, Dustin. Just talk a little bit about his performance, what you like, maybe what you didn't like, and this pitching staff in game 2.
Would you call it the second best start of the season outside of Gonzo's start last Saturday?
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe hopefully we found something, because I mean if that's his first start, then those decent numbers. Hopefully that's something to build on. We got to find some guys. So based off of just what we've seen, you look at some of these other guys' ERAs, it's not good.
Yeah.
So maybe he gets a shot. I like what I saw. Maybe we can build on that and get 5 or 6 out of them. We'll see. And because again, you just have to keep us in the game, man. It just looks like we're
That's
going to be
it.
that kind of team. You just got to keep us in the game, and eventually somebody's going to go. I mean, I just giggled today whenever it flipped back to the top of our lineup, and it's like, man, once you get to Ike and then Bryson's coming right behind it, it's problems, bro. And Bobby's
No
doing this
doubt.
thing at the leadoff spot. So I like what I saw from Christian, and I hope that we see more of them because honestly, there's a lot of arms that are struggling right now.
Yeah, man. Connor Copeland, I think he deserves some more love. A guy that we've talked about, and he threw the other night for the Auburn Tigers. I know he come in today and threw a little in Game 3. I think he's a guy that we might need to look at. Auburn's still searching for that third guy, and hopefully Gonzo gets back next weekend. Would love to see him against Lipscomb. If not, maybe this is just a rest thing, and hopefully Auburn was just kind of feeling like, hey, we can handle USC without Gonzo. Maybe not. I don't know, but hopefully he is back and we can figure out this third guy. I know Herbert Holtz. Like you said, is it the second best start outside of Gonzo? It's looking like that. He kept us in the game. The offense got rolling. And, man, look, the 3-run fourth, the 5-run sixth, and the 4-run eighth. And there were some balls that were absolutely hammered, Dustin. All right. Man, Cooper McMurray, 3-hit day. All right. Led the team. All right. The performances of just guys like Bobby Pierce, man, Ike Irish, Cooper McMurray. And the reason I wanted to highlight Coop, man, is because this is a guy that was struggling, okay, offensively, man. He was a guy that they were giving him some time to figure it out. All right, that's the reason you've seen Wortham over there at first a little bit, Cam Hill over there at first a little bit, and Coop comes in, man, and just absolutely lights it on fire Saturday night. Just talk a little bit about him, your prediction that you made, and how impressed you were with him at the plate.
You know, in the way that when we lost Walker Kessler, that Janai Broom isn't going to be Walker Kessler, but he still filled that hole pretty good where it wasn't just this big gap. That's what Cooper can be first base in comparison to Sonny. You're not going to be Sonny, but can you still be consistent and still be a guy that we can rely on? And I think he can, simply because his numbers before he came to Auburn say that he can. And you're going to go through slumps. There's going to be a time, it doesn't look like it right now, but there will be a time when Ike Irish isn't hitting. You're going to go through slumps in baseball. Unfortunately for Cooper, it looks like he hit his slump when practice started. He just didn't come out the gates hot. And that's probably extra tough, right? Like you probably start to question yourself. So to have that kind of day, to hit one over the fence, because he is a guy that we need to get a little bit of pop out of. He had double-digit home runs last year, I believe. So I believe in him, and like I said, I think he's going to come out of the weekend locking first base down. And I wouldn't say it's completely locked down because you got to you got to stack them. But I think he took a big step in the right direction.
Well, let's talk about 14 hits, 12 runs. All right, Game 2. Guy I didn't mention right there. I said Bobby Pierce, Ike Irish, Cooper McMurray. Man, we got to continue to talk about Bryson Ware, Dustin. This guy.
Yeah.
I mean, throw a damn beach ball up there, cuzzo. I don't care what you throw. I don't care what you throw, dog. This guy is seeing it, all right? He is seeing it. You could throw a rock up there. Dude, he hit a ball in the 8th inning. Saturday night. When you heard it off the bat, that is college baseball.
Yeah.
That is college baseball. When he hit that ball and it makes that ping, man, there ain't nothing better. There's no better sound than that sound right there. I mean, Bryson Ware, dude. Look, and the thing is, Dustin, is the at-bats that he is taking, bro doesn't get caught looking silly. All right. I haven't seen him get caught looking silly one time this year. He's walking. All right. He's hitting. He's doing everything that you can possibly do. He's driving counts deep. He's not getting cheated. You're not seeing little rollovers to third base and things like that, man. Dude is making solid contact. He is putting barrel to baseball, man. Just talk a little bit about Bryson Ware and the hot start he's had.
Well, he's on fire, and the beautiful thing about it is every time he comes to the plate, there's people on base. I love it. I just love it. And dude, it's up and down this lineup. He's doing well at third base as well. Bryson's just doing his thing, and you saw it today. USC in that ninth inning said, we want no part in this. They threw him one pitch, couldn't get him to fish, and they just said, all right, just send it to first, because they already knew what it was about to be. He was about to hit a walk-off. Yeah, dude, the kid is on fire.
Absolutely, man. So, look, that wraps up game 2. Auburn absolutely dominating performance. Will Cannon once again out the bullpen. John Armstrong and just doing what they do, man. And, look, don't overreact to that John Armstrong stuff. I think he gave up like 3 runs or whatever. Look, he was in there to throw strikes. Auburn had a lead, get outs. What's up?
Butch talked about that after the game. Butch said that's 100% on him. He said he left him in too long. So.
Yeah. Yeah. He was in there to do a job, man. Look, you get outs. You're going to get touched up every now and then, bro. Look, this is a game, bro. These are D1 hitters. All these people that might overreact to somebody getting just touched up a time or two, you're going to get hit. It's just part of it's baseball, bro. Like, you might not have your best stuff. You're going to get hit. So, shout out to Butch too, man. Just sticking up for his guy, sticking up for his player. But don't overreact to that John Armstrong thing. I did want to point that out. But Will Cannon also coming in again and doing a fabulous job in that game too. So let's go to game 3, man. This was wild. All right. Dustin, we tie 12-12. We blow 2 4-run leads. It honestly felt like today Chase Isbell gets the start, doesn't make it out of the first inning, and it felt exactly like last Sunday. First inning, you give up 2 2-run bombs, just not what you want to see. You fall down 4-0. Thank goodness this offense showed up today, unlike last Sunday, and really, really carried this thing in order for us to eventually come to a tie. We left one on the table late, but just talk about Chase Isbell in a starting role that he's really not used to being in. This isn't a guy that we're going to see start throughout the year. He's going to come out the pen. We just had a little problem today, so don't get too mad or upset. Auburn didn't lose a baseball game. But just talk about Chase and really just go down through the bullpen on guys that come in like a Crotchfelt. And, you were really wanting to see some better things out of some of those guys, like a Nelson also.
Yeah, Drew's off to a rough start.
He's got a 30 ERA.
30. He'll be working all year to bring that down. So that's tough. The thing with Chase is not throwing Gonzo. It just throws your whole deal off, right? Because now you're having to use guys a day earlier. You're expecting to get 5-6 innings out of Gonzo. It just kind of throws you out of whack. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot to look at pitching wise today and be happy about. I mean, you gave up 12 runs, like you said. You blew 4 twice. You really lost. You should have lost the game 13-12. Apparently, old boy stepped over a home plate. So it's just a wacky day overall.
It was the right call, though. Everybody, apparently, from the radio broadcast, everybody in the stadium saw that he completely stepped. I mean, everybody stood up. Even Andy on the radio call, Andy was like, no. He missed home plate. So a great job right there for the Auburn players to realize that, hey, these fans are saying he missed home plate. Nate LaRue, go tag him and let's make a play and save this from being man, that would have been a heartbreaking loss for real to just blowing 2 4-run leads, man. Crotchfeld, look, they're young, man. They're young. They're freshmen. All right. I'm not overly upset. Like, it's going to take time. I'm glad these things are getting ironed out right now. So you're 5-1 and 1?
5-1-1.
5-1-1. Yeah. All right. So, is there any reason to be mad, Dustin? Like,
no, there's no reason to be mad. I mean, you got to call it what it is when you say, like, there's a big portion of the bullpen is struggling. You don't really have your starting rotation figured out. So, we can't like sunshine pump and just blow smoke. But if you have all these questions, but you're still 5-1-1, and you have 2 good series wins. Like, Indiana's not a scrub program. USC's not a scrub program. This isn't Yale or something like that. These are 2 solid programs, and you've come out and you've won 2 out of 3, and technically you didn't lose today. So, yeah, right now everything looks good, man. Everything's in the right way. We just got to get this stuff figured out.
Let's talk about the grit of this team real quick. Let's talk about that, because that is something that I saw this weekend. A team that falls down, all right, multiple times in a series. All 3 games you fell down, all right, early. Game 1, you fell down 1-0. Game 2, you fell down 3-0. Game 3, you fell down 4-0. And this offense answered the bell every time. Ike Irish, dude, a triple, all right. Bryson Ware, another home run. Justin Kirby, another home run. Dude comes up and after 1 home run hits a damn grand slam. Like, the dude is on fire, Dustin. And look, the thing, people want to point out the 218 batting average from Justin Kirby, all right? Let's go look at the slugging, and let's go look at the on base. All right, let's go look at the on base. Let's go look at the slugging, and let's see how many walks the dude has drawn this year. All right, the batting average will rise. All right, he will start hitting the ball in the gaps. They will fall. Let's pump the brakes on the 218 average or whatever. You miss me with that. The dude's just freaking barreled a baseball, just killing the freaking ball. So, man, yeah, just talk about the offensive day that this team had, putting up 12 runs again, man. Let's see, that's 12, 12, and 5. My goodness, you walk out of Plainsman Park with almost 30 runs, dude. Like, goodness, in 3 games, that's incredible.
When you talk about grit, so game 2, USC cuts it to 8-6. And then the next inning, Bryson Ware and Cooper McMurray both hit home runs. And you're right back. Up until the 9th inning today, the bottom of the 9th today, a lot of timely hitting. And in different ways, right? So, like, today you slug the ball. Saturday you slug the ball. Friday, there was a lot of small ball. You had 8 hits that were kind of scattered about, but you were timely in it, sacrificing at the right time, getting the steal at the right time, just making the right plays. Like you said, gritty. We got some dogs. We got some young guys. That's the thing too. I like the makeup of young and old, veteran and young guys. And then you got new guys that are coming over from different, a guy like Kirby coming over from Kent State that wants to prove himself. A guy like McMurray coming over from Kansas. I want to prove myself in the SEC. I like the makeup, the kind of the build of the locker room itself. So, man, it's just I think we've seen enough now to say, okay, there's reason to be excited. I don't know how much longer there's not going to be a number next to our name.
I agree. And I'm not really worried about the pitching right now, bro. Like, I know a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, well, we got to figure this thing." Oh, we're gonna figure it out. Just go back to last year. Let's just rewind back to last year, Dustin. Okay, we lose Hayden in the middle of the year, and everybody panics, bro. Everybody panics. Who stepped in? All right, like, come on, man. We're gonna figure this thing out. We're gonna have a guy. It might be a guy like Connor Copeland coming out of nowhere that nobody thought would be that third guy. We just don't know yet. Thank goodness we have midweek games coming up this week. We got a weekend series with Lipscomb, and we're not quite there to SEC play yet. So let's pump the brakes. We have plenty of time. We got plenty of key matchups coming on the way. We're good, man. I really do. I was really impressed with this baseball team this weekend, coming out unscathed against USC, a team that could hit the baseball, bro. A team that could hit the baseball. I will give USC that. Do not look at last year's record. Do not look that they win 8 conference games last year. Don't pay attention to any of that, man. This team can absolutely hit, and they showed their power this weekend at Plainsman Park. So I can't say anything bad about this baseball team, man. They played their ass off.
Yeah, and halfway through the season last year, would you have said Mason Barnett's going to get drafted? Like, no, not at all. So just trust Butch. We're going to get all this stuff figured out. And here's the thing, too. Like I said earlier, Indiana and then USC.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to have a little bit of an easier one this weekend. I know we don't want to overlook anybody. And like you say all the time, baseball's a weird game, so anything can happen.
Absolutely.
But still, you've got a series this weekend where you should be able to say, okay, we're just better than this team. We should be able to get enough runs the way we're hitting the ball right now to handle this at Plainsman. So we got plenty of time to get this stuff figured out. The one I would say my biggest concern is what everyone's saying is not a concern. I would feel a lot more comfortable if Gonzo went next weekend. I don't want to see this start stacking up and being a thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is like the only thing that might worry me a little bit is just I hope he's healthy. I hope everything's okay. The shoulder soreness, like I mentioned earlier, man, I just kind of hope this was a thing where he kind of maybe wanted a little rest and just you don't want to really overuse him early in the season. You kind of felt like you could handle USC without him. So hopefully that's what that was. But yeah, man, hey, hell of a breakdown of these 3 games. Auburn wins another weekend series. Things are looking up, 5-1-1. Can't be mad at that. 7 games in, midweek series, Dustin. You can catch all of the Auburn baseball breakdown here. We are going to podcast this thing each weekend series. Doesn't matter who we play. We don't care. We don't give a damn. We're going to watch it, and we are going to give you our thoughts on it every single week. Yeah, man. You can catch it Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Listen to us, watch us, because we're going to be watching. We're going to be listening. It doesn't matter. Radio, SEC Network Plus, don't matter, man. It don't matter. So before we get out of here, I'm going to leave everything to Dustin. We're going to get his final thoughts like we do every episode. And Dustin, man, you got the floor.
One more thing I want to say about this team. So when you see Bobby Pierce go out today, Mikey Bello comes in and gets a big hit. We got depth in the outfield. We were really deep in the outfield. I like that. And we've seen Bello get a couple of pinch hits this season already. So I like where we kind of sit with a bench too. We got guys that can come in and I feel like can get a big hit if we need them to. Shout out to women's softball going undefeated this weekend. I think they went 5-0, I believe. At
Love
least 4-0. So yeah, they kick butt. Women's basketball today beat Vanderbilt. That program is going up. So now they don't have to play in the first four games, or the first 2 games, the first round of the SEC tournament. They get that bye. So shout out to the ladies there. Coach Johnny Harris is doing a great job. And then stay tuned, man, because tomorrow Ike Jones from the War Report will be recording with him, doing a breakdown, and looking forward to spring football because Brother Hugh Freeze era officially kicks off tomorrow. The boys are going to put on the pads, put on them sexy ass helmets, and start popping. And that is going to be tomorrow is the first step in getting back to playing our brand of football. I truly believe that. So we're fired up to have Ike on and just fired up for this time in Auburn sports. Basketball is rough right now, but that's still going on. And baseball's fired up. Spring football is kicking off, man. It's all going down, and we're here to talk about all of it.
I love it, man. I love it. I'm excited about tomorrow, man. I'm excited about tomorrow. Big time guest, Ike. Can't wait to have you on here. I'm just thankful, man. That's what I really want to say. I'm just thankful that we get to get guests like him on, and he gives us the time of day, and like Lindsay and everything, and Mikey Matuk, just guys that we just DM and say, hey, man, like come on and just give us a shout and come talk ball with us. And it's been a hell of a ride, Dustin, and I love it, man. And just I can't thank you enough, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, buddy. It's been a blast, and it would be really, really fun if the basketball team wants to shock the world and we could have one hell of an episode. I know it's not going to happen, but if you don't put positive energy out there, it probably will never happen. So I don't know.
Yeah, the basketball pod was tough.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know, man. I just think we were a little, we're just a little ticked off. We expect better, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Sometimes you got to call a spade a spade. Like I always say about this podcast, bro, I'm not going to get on here and sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to sunshine pump. I'm going to give you my 100% honest thoughts, and they're my opinions. Just like you, I respect each and every one of your opinions. I might disagree on an opinion, all right? But that's how we are, man. So I love it. I appreciate you. Everything you do, man. We're growing. We're growing. So
Yes, sir.
with that being said, we're going to leave y'all with a War Damn Eagle, and we are out of here.